I think that entrepreneurship is a fundamental topic in this century, but it's not a new topic. I think we go through cycles, about invention. It was not called entrepreneurship, but it was called invention. It was called science in many cases, When we talk about incubators, in the world since Atlantis and Lemuria existed, there were incubators, Laboratories training people to get to know more than just what you see in front of your nose. But let's assume that this is a new topic. Why is a new topic? Entrepreneurship is a new topic because we are hungry of new solutions to the world. We know how to produce. Maybe you are an entrepreneur if you find another sneaker that does it better. But there are zillions of trademarks on sneakers, and we don't need trillion and one more to resolve the running. Maybe those very high sophisticated runners might need this new sneaker, but the world knows how to produce sneakers. We know how to produce food. Maybe in some cases we need very sophisticated changes to do this. The world does not have a problem of production or consumption. The world has a problem of distribution, which brings the topic and debate on entrepreneurship from business entrepreneurship alone to social entrepreneurship. What is a business entrepreneur? Is that person that is fully aware of the business, of how to do finance, how to do accounting, how to do marketing, how to do strategic thinking and so on, how to make profit. A true business entrepreneur is a person who really creates, with capital C, for this business enterprise. Okay? So it creates many things, new technologies, new processes, new ways, etc., etc. But to be only a business entrepreneur is not enough, because the corporation, the company, the entity that is benefiting from business entrepreneurship is part of an environment that contains two environments. One is natural environment and the other one is human environment. So the social entrepreneur is that person who is not only aware of the business of the corporation itself, but is aware of the external impact of the business into the environment and into the human reality, the social. That's why we talk about social entrepreneurship in connection with the triple bottom line, or with social corporate responsibility and the Equator principles for banking and so on. All of these are interconnected topics, because we are saying you as an entrepreneur should not only create for the selfishness of profit, but you need to create in a way that profit making does not eliminate our environment and does not destroy social structures over the longer term. However, this is not enough. Business entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship is not the end of the story. You cannot be a social entrepreneur if you don't have self-identity, because your self-identity is influenced and part of the human environment and the natural environment. So this is what I call the spiritual entrepreneur. The spiritual entrepreneur is a person who is not only aware of the external impact of the corporation into the outside, but is aware of him or herself. The people who are not aware of him or herself do not necessarily are aware of the external environment. For example, let's say that in my mind I am a racist, that my level of spirituality is such that I am a mind that discriminates against a race, a color, or something. Then I am coloring my relationship with the human environment and the natural environment. I will say, okay, this is not poverty, this is just problem with black people, we are just affecting a minority. But if you are really sensitive to human interdependence and you are not a racist, you are really a person of equity and standing, you will have a different perspective on how the company affects a human environment. If, as an individual, my level of awareness is very low in relation to nature, nature is inferior, non-intelligent, is to be used, I am the conqueror of nature, if that is my level of awareness, then the way I perceive the impact of my corporation on the environment will be very different from someone who is highly self-interconnected with nature and say, no, wait a minute, we cannot affect this forest. We cannot affect this river. We cannot affect this groundwater. We cannot affect this air. We cannot affect this space. You know, that is part of a spiritual entrepreneurship. It will not come necessarily from business and from social entrepreneurship. So any university that is in the business, in inverted commas, of entrepreneurship first need to create a spiritual entrepreneurs. Now, I like to end by saying I don't want to separate business entrepreneurship from social entrepreneurship, from a spiritual entrepreneurship. This is like three spheres that are interacting simultaneously. I have separated for purposes of presentation, but actually I am part of the environment. I am the environment. I can be the decision maker one day, but then I can be the consumer next day. I can be the producer one day. I can be the trader another day. I can be the producer one day. I can be the one receiving pollution the next day, etc., etc., etc. So the question is not to separate them, but acknowledge the existence of these three interconnecting spheres.